I call you now. Give me your attention for this moment as I visit you with peace. I see you as you are, without masks and without noise. I see the rush that occupies you inside, the weight that weighs you down, and the weariness of the nights you tried to be strong when no one saw you. Nothing you have experienced is hidden from me. You did not arrive here by chance. I drew you so that you would hear my voice where other voices are silent. You breathe and perceive how I bring order to what seemed like a tangle with no way out. Where your thoughts crossed, I open a simple path, a possible step, a beginning that fits into your today. I do not accuse you, I gather you. I do not push you, I lead you. I gather your pieces and align them with purpose, because what you lack does not nullify what I have given you, and what has hurt you does not revoke what I have decreed for you. Listen with your heart. When you let anxiety rule, you distance yourself from my gentle signs. I speak gently, and my gentleness is not weakness. It establishes foundations that will not be shattered by the first gust of wind. I am teaching you to listen to the direction that sustains, to recognize the touch that calms you within and makes you lucid without. Yes, I know you when you cover yourself with silence, when you thirst for answers and fear asking questions. I welcome you now and place a rest on your shoulders. The rest I give does not paralyze you, it repositions you. Place your feet on solid ground, and solid ground begins with the vision I share with you. There is a path before you, and it does not depend on applause, it depends on my hand. Look at today. Don't seek the end of everything in a single action. Seek the faithful step that opens the next door. I will give you clarity to distinguish the urgent from the essential, the voice that lifts you from the noise that distracts you, the opportunities that add to you from those that drain you. Don't respond impulsively when your soul is restless. Wait a moment with me, and I will show you where to rest your decision. Your mind will learn to obey my peace, and your peace will give you discernment. I will surround you with sound counsel, and the right word will come when you need it. While I align you within, I will adjust without what seemed immovable. The door that did not yield to force will yield to meekness, because it is my favor that opens it. What I open, no one closes, and what I close, no one forces. I prepare you to walk without panic. I remove from you the belief that everything depends solely on your arm, for your arm grows weary, but my arm sustains. You will do your part. I will do what no human strategy can achieve. And when fear comes with the memory of past falls, I will remind you of what remained standing despite the losses, because what sustained you in the dark days was my presence, and it is through my presence that you will advance in the bright days. Learn to name what you feel without submitting to it. Your pain will not be your guide. I will be your guide. Your heart will not walk by comparisons, but by conviction. I restore to you pure courage, the kind that decides for the good even when it trembles, the kind that does not promise empty grandeur, but chooses concrete fidelity. At this very moment, I gather what overflowed and return it in the right measure. I calm your inner self so you can prioritize wisely. I will show you where to reduce what weighs, where to increase what builds, and where to close what has already served its purpose. You will see small, discreet, yet constant signs confirming that you are on track. Do not confuse the absence of noise with the absence of movement. When it seems like nothing has happened, notice how your spirit is clearer. Clarity is the harbinger of progress. I lift you from where you sat down, out of exhaustion, and teach you to begin again without violence. Your journey will not be a test of daily survival. It will be a practice of purpose. I will give you grace in the face of decisions and show you that the serenity that arises within you will be your strength before others. Nothing I ask of you today is unattainable. It is near, it is feasible, it is possible. Now establish a point of contact between your inner self and my voice. Commit your heart to noticing what weighs on you and to handing over to me what you don't need to carry alone. Learn to transform restlessness into prayer, and prayer into direction, and direction into action. As you do this, I will increase your clarity, prudence, favor, and protection. I will protect you from shortcuts that would waste time and from promises that shine but fail to nourish. I will spare you from excess and lead you to the sufficient that bears fruit. And when doubt comes to ask if I have truly spoken to you, look at the peace that now visits you. Peace is my seal. Take this peace as your compass and use it to decide what stays and what goes. Write in the comments, in one word, what weighs most on you today. I'll listen and give you guidance. Look ahead and see how I pave the way where your eyes only saw barriers. I advance before you and leave marks of favor that you will recognize when you arrive. What seemed too great will shrink before the strategy I place in your hands. I teach you to organize what you have, to discern what stays and what goes, to prioritize the essential and reject the excess that drains you. The provision I pour out is not noise, it is order. It is not fanfare, it is constancy. You will see discreet yet firm signs, the right conversation at the right time, the door that wouldn't open and gave way gently, the answer that pacifies difficult decisions. I cover you with protection as you walk. I preserve you from hasty agreements, from words that seem sweet but turn sick, from opportunities that shine and take their toll on your soul. My care frees you from deception and guards you from traps that disguise themselves as urgency. Where fear pushed you to compromise, I give you the sobriety to say no. Where vanity called you to prove your worth, I remind you that your worth comes from me. You will not be vulnerable to opinions that change with the wind. You will be grounded in my voice that remains. I will send people of peace. They will not compete with your journey. They will complement your mission. You will recognize this encounter by the rest they bring and the clarity they bring. Honor those who walk with you and learn to receive help without guilt. I will also remove confusing noises, companions that distract you from what edifies you, and proposals that would distance you from what I have decreed for you. Do not lament when I close doors that no longer serve you. Each necessary closure protects your future. Your home will feel this care. The atmosphere will change when you change the pace of your decisions. I will give you measure, and measure will give you health. Learn to work with focus and rest with purpose, because both effort without rest and rest without meaning will empty you. I will teach you to manage resources faithfully, balance accounts, cut waste, plan prudently, and share generously. As you practice fidelity in the small, I expand your capacity for the great. Do not mistake gentleness for weakness. The favor I bestow does not require shouting, it operates through consistency. There will be silent days when you doubt your progress, and on those days I will ask you to observe the peace that guides. Peace is not the absence of battle, it is the presence of my hand. When you choose peace and truth, right choices will unfold before you. Even when you stumble, I will lift you up without humiliation, because my correction heals without breaking your dignity. I will give you a firm voice for decisions and a gentle heart for relationships. You will speak what is necessary without hurting, and you will keep silent when unnecessary without omitting the truth. It will free you from useless arguments, from disputes that delay, from justifications that drain your energy. Your focus will be preserved and your time will be aligned. In meetings, I will advance arguments and give you control over anxiety. You will know when to speak, when to listen, and when to close. From today on, treat every small confirmation as a reminder of my covenant with you. I remain, I sustain, I guide. And where you have felt exposed, I cover you. Where you have felt alone, I accompany you. Where you have felt incapable, I empower you. Stay close, because provision is born from the bond, and protection blossoms in the simple obedience of each day. Walk with serenity and watch with hope. I am before you, beside you, and behind you, and nothing will escape my care as you follow this path. If this word has reached your heart, share it now with the person my spirit reminds you of. I invite you to stay close. Make me your first thought at dawn and your last thought at dusk. I order your steps when you decide to walk with me unhurriedly, choosing obedience over anxiety. Small constancy, repeated faithfully, transforms the terrain of your life into solid ground. Today, I teach you a simple rhythm that protects your heart. Breathe, write, prioritize, act, rest. In this discrete cycle, I find you, align you, and strengthen you. Don't worry about seeing the whole map before leaving. I've already been to the day that hasn't yet arrived and prepared resources, encounters, and exits. What I ask of you is the possible step forward now. As you obey the small, I broaden your horizons. When discouragement speaks loudly, look back honestly and identify where I held your hands when you lacked strength. The same care that protected you on difficult days will guide you soberly on prosperous days. Learn to distinguish and reject the excess that distracts you, because my direction flourishes where the essential has space. Listen to what I tell you about gentle discipline. It's not harshness that hurts you, it's firmness that guides you. I will give you good, clear, and sustainable habits, starting with what matters, honoring schedules, closing cycles, protecting rest. The peace I give you is a signal for decisions. If choice steals your peace, wait with me and evaluate your motivation. If choice increases your peace, walk with courage. My peace is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of my hand. It will be your compass amid invitations, deadlines, and voices that try to rush you. When you find noise around you, choose a little silence with me. In it, I restore measure and meaning. The right silence is not an escape, it is direction. In it, I remind you of who you are, so that your responses arise from identity, not from need. I protect your focus from sickening comparisons, and I teach you to do well with what is in your hands, without losing yourself in what does not belong to you. You will see how favor operates without fanfare, how doors yield to meekness, and how constancy opens paths where brute force only tires. I will give you sound advice and give you discernment to choose people of peace. Honor those who add value, learn from those who know, correct your course when you notice a deviation, and move on. My correction is medicine, not humiliation. It repositions you without breaking your dignity. I care for your relationships so that your journey is sustained by healthy alliances. Keep your speech clean, avoid useless arguments, and end explanations that only drain your spirit. Instead, practice simple words, attentive listening, and concrete actions that resolve. I don't ask for perfection, I ask for daily surrender. When you stumble, get up with serenity, learn, and continue. The constancy I ask of you today will be the testimony of your tomorrow. Don't let haste define your worth. Your value is in me, unshakable. Therefore, walk with firm lightness. I will be your reserve of courage on long days and your security on uncertain days. Keep close the memory that I remain when everything fluctuates, and always return to this agreement, one day at a time, with me, with clarity, with peace, with purpose. If this direction confirms your heart, like and subscribe to continue walking with me daily. I see you whole. I see the strength you displayed to carry on when support was lacking, and I recognize the fragility you tried to hide to protect your heart. Nothing in you is unknown to me. I know what excites you and what exhausts you, what brings you joy and what saddens you. I do not look at you with condemnation. I approach you with compassion and truth to heal what bleeds within you and reorganize what was scattered by the impact of recent struggles. I do not reduce you to your error nor limit you to your pain. I read you beyond what happened to you and restore your story based on who I say you are. Receive the repentance that heals. It doesn't trap you in guilt, it repositions you in grace. I clearly show you where you've strayed, not to shame you, but to guide you on the safe path. When you confess, you lighten the burden that weighed you down. When you adjust, you regain the pace that seemed lost. I don't compare you to anyone. I adjust your path with patience and firmness, and I restore to you the serenity of walking one day at a time. The past is no longer allowed to dictate your future. It becomes your teacher, not your jailer. It teaches you, but it doesn't imprison you. I restore your identity. You are not defined by the absences that wounded you, nor by the labels you received when you were too tired to respond. I name you with life, with meaning, with purpose. My voice gathers the pieces scattered in seasons of pain and forms the whole again. Where you called yourself weak, I call you strong. Where you called yourself late, I call you in time. Where you called yourself lesser, I call you necessary. Learn to respond by the name I give you, and you will. See your courage grow in the right measure. Your soul needs peace to hear guidance. I teach you to pause for nourishment, to breathe before responding, to observe what truly matters when everything pulls you in every direction. Haste screams and confuses. My peace whispers and organizes. With me, silence is not empty, it is a source. In it, I give you understanding, meaning, and encouragement. In it, I show you where to begin when everything seems too vast to fit into today. The first step is enough when it is the right one. I help you name what you feel without surrendering to it. Your emotion is a signal, not a direction. I heal the memory that puts you on constant alert and teach you to discern what is a real threat from what is an echo of the past. When fear comes with old stories, I place before you memories of preservation that prove my care. I guide you with righteous advice, with precise encounters, with doors that open in their own time. And when something closes, do not fear. I close to protect, I open to guide. Everything works for your maturation when you walk with me. I treat your relationships with kindness and firmness. I bring people of peace closer and drive away voices that fuel your restlessness. I teach your speech to be clear without hurting, and your listening to be attentive without absorbing what makes you sick. I restore within you the ability to forgive without returning to the place of the wound, to honor boundaries without losing tenderness, to begin anew without denying reality. In each small victory of sobriety, collect confirmations of my presence. They will be your intimate testimony that you do not walk alone. I remain with you. I sustain, I realign, I guard. When they judge you for the moment, remember that I see you in the process. When they demand instant results, remember that I form you with roots. I will guide you with the patience of a farmer, tending the soil of your heart, removing stones, watering seeds, protect sprouts. The fruit will come in its own time. Now, receive the peace that reorders you, the identity that lifts you up, and the hope that sets you on your feet to move forward with dignity. I see you whole and I bless you completely. Now transform your intention into a conscious gesture before me. I see your heart, but I also teach you to mark decisions with simple signs that help you remember who you chose to be when your emotions calm down. The gesture doesn't buy me or convince me because I don't negotiate love or care. The gesture aligns you, anchors you, and restores clarity when the day is noisier than today. This is the time to fully agree. Agreeing isn't about feeling stronger. It's about making a sober decision. You have listened to my guidance, and deep down, you know what is right to do. The seal I ask of you is a visible reminder of your yes. When you look at it, you will remember that you chose to walk with me in peace, in truth, and in constancy. I support those who choose to do good with achievable steps and renewed strength. I don't call you superstition. I call you to active remembrance. There are decisions that are lost because they remain only in thought. When a gesture confirms them, you bring them into the light of commitment. The light doesn't shame you, it guides you. The heart that sets out on a path quietly but firmly learns to resist the distractions that once robbed it of focus. The seal is the reminder that your will has united with my counsel. Observe what the agreement produces in you. It calms your mind that was spinning inside because it prioritizes the essential. It organizes your time because it defines why and for whom each step will be taken. It frees up energy because it cuts through useless explanations and empty confrontations. It makes your speech more sober and your silence more secure. It makes the day productive, not through haste, but through direction. When doubts arise, reminding you of past failures, consider what has changed. Before, you walked alone, with waning strength. Now you walk with me, with sustaining grace. Before, you promised much and held yourself accountable without mercy. Now, you decide little and faithfully deliver. Before, you confused movement with progress. Now, you recognize that progress is repeated consistency. Agreement closes the door on old guilt and opens the door to a new sense of responsibility. I will give you subtle signs of confirmation, a right conversation that arrives at the exact moment, a perspective that visits you and aligns your choice, a rest that settles in before the final decision. Learn to notice these confirmations without demanding a spectacle. My favor works without fanfare, and that's why it remains when the surrounding noise ceases. Walk with this rest, and let it be your measure between one option and another. Also commit to revisiting your yes. You'll set aside short breaks to remember why you chose this path. By remembering, you'll correct deviations while they're still small. By remembering, you'll celebrate progress while it still feels like a seed. By remembering, you'll be grateful for the preservation you didn't notice at the time, but which saved you from a bad step. The memory of the agreement teaches you to grow patiently and protect what's emerging. I guard your path when your heart seeks me with truth. I don't ask for perfection, I ask for daily surrender. If you stumble, rise with serenity and return to the yes you gave me. This yes isn't a new burden, it's the end of old ones that robbed you of breath. With it, your courage ceases to be a burst and becomes a river that flows through your days. If you agree with this direction, write 7,777 inches the comments now as your sign of faith and remembrance. The comfort that reaches you today doesn't end with you. I breathe upon your heart so that you learn to transform what you receive into care that reaches others. The bread I place on your table doesn't diminish when you share it. It multiplies in the act of serving. The love that heals you finds fulfillment when it passes through you and continues onward. Therefore, I call you to live with intention, discerning who needs to be touched by the same peace that visits you now. I don't ask you for fanfare, I ask you for guidance. There is someone within your reach who walks wearily, someone hiding tears out of shame, someone who has lost hope of starting over. I bring this face to your memory and place a gentle weight on your spirit. This weight is not a burden, it is a mission. It reminds you that life flourishes when caring becomes a habit. In the simplicity of your gesture, your faithfulness makes room for my favor to act. Learn to share wisely. Caring isn't about saving with your own hands, it's about leading to the source. You aren't the solution for everyone, but you are a bridge for many. The right word at the right time can transform a detour into a new beginning. The right embrace, attentive listening, respectful silence, sober advice. Each of these acts is a seed planted in the soil I prepare. Do not underestimate the little ones when they are guided by me. I give you discernment so that overflowing is responsible. Not every urgency is yours. Not every pain demands your presence. Not every invitation deserves your time. I myself will point out the people and the moments. When I move you, go with gentle courage. When I ask you to wait, guard your heart and pray constantly. Thus, what you do ceases to be agitation and becomes fruitful work. Your gesture of care preserves your own soul from selfishness and protects you from the stagnation that arises from excessive self-regard. As you participate in someone's healing, I care for areas within you that you would not reach alone. As you bring peace, I reach your home with order. As you support a weary hand, I strengthen your knees. This is the economy of the kingdom. What is shared in faith returns, multiplied in grace. Don't let coldness or cynicism steal your sweetness. The world screams for spectacle, but transformation is sustained by discreetness. I will guide you to speak little and truthfully, to act little and precisely, to repeat the good without announcement. Greater changes often emerge quietly. If someone is not ready to receive, respect the time and continue without bitterness. I am the Lord of the process. I guide the cycles. I maintain the rhythm. Care without losing your essence. Maintain the boundaries that preserve your spirit. The well overflows when it is full. Therefore, remain in me. Drink from my peace. Nourish yourself with my word, and then share freely. Care born of haste tires and demands. Care born of me liberates and edifies. Trust that each seed sown will find soil in its time. I send you with my blessing. Go lightly and attentively, sensitive to my signs, firm in what is essential. Where there is noise, bring serenity. Where there is fear, bring security. Where there is confusion, bring direction. And when you see the fruit, celebrate with me without boasting, for every good work is born of my grace and matures in my time. If this word touched your heart, share it now with the person who came to mind and bring peace wherever I send you. I am the one who sustains you when support is lacking and lifts you up when your strength is gone. I am the principle that calls you and the care that accompanies you. When the voices around you change tone, my word remains. I do not ask you to see the entire path. I ask for the faithful step that fits in the now. I teach you to move forward without panic, to decide without haste, to trust without demanding a spectacle. My presence is your foundation, and in it your soul learns to rest without giving up. I am your anchor amidst the fluctuations. When everything fluctuates, I remain. Your identity is not born of the day's outcome. It is born of my decree upon you. I call you by the name I gave you before pain tried to rename you. I tell you that you are necessary, that you have a place, that your time has not passed, that your purpose has not expired. My authority does not oppress you. It organizes you from within. It restores measure, sense, and direction. Learn to rest in what I have already said, and repeat with your life what I speak to your heart. I am your guiding peace. Peace here is not the absence of battle, it is the presence of my hand guiding your discernment. Peace will be a compass between similar alternatives. When a choice steals your peace, wait with me. When a choice multiplies your peace, walk with courage. I will give you the sensitivity to perceive the right moment to speak, the precise time to remain silent, the exact moment to close. I will not leave you lost among opinions. I prepare you to respond soberly and move forward with firmness. I am strength for your knees and lightness for your shoulders. You will learn to distinguish ego-demanding from healthy responsibility. I align your rhythm so that constancy replaces impulses and fidelity overcomes empty promises. As you repeat the good, I open paths that would not yield to haste. As you order the small, I expand your limits. The extraordinary flourishes in the soil of the well-tended essential. I am the one who opens and closes doors out of zeal for you. I close what would slow you down, even if it seems promising, and I open what will make you grow, even if it arrives discreetly. You will recognize my hand when old resistance becomes gentle handling, and when righteous advice reaches you at the right time. I will surround you with people of peace who contribute to your mission, and I will give you discernment to eliminate noise that drains your spirit. My authority filters what touches you, protects what is emerging, and sustains what has already matured. I am your teacher of short, steady steps. I teach you to start with what matters, to finish what you started, to keep rest as part of the work. I will show you where to reduce the excess, where to add what is necessary, and where to close what has already served its purpose. This way, your energy returns to what matters, your mind breathes, and your heart hears clearly again. I don't demand perfection from you, I call you daily presence. Presence forms you, gentle discipline preserves you, perseverance guides you. I am the same today and will continue to be when you reach what you do not yet see. Therefore, do not trade your conviction for momentary approval. Take goodness as your measure, truth as your path, peace as your sign, and love as your strength. If you stumble, get up with serenity. If you grow weary, rest in me. If you doubt, remember what I have already preserved in your history. My faithfulness does not fail, and my care does not run out. Walk. I am with you in your step, in your pause, and in your purpose. If this guidance strengthens you now, like and subscribe to continue receiving my guidance daily. I call you by the name I gave you before pain tried to rename your story. I see you beyond the labels that weariness has stuck to your skin, and beyond the comparisons that have distorted your mirror. You are not what you lacked. You are not the fleeting opinion that measured you for a moment. You are not the sum of your stumbles. I formed you with intention and purpose, and now I have restored the truth of who you are in me. When my voice calls you, it mends what loss has scattered. It gathers your pieces with dignity. It puts your heart back in its right place so that you can walk again without the burden of proving your worth. I lift from you the burden of approval that shifts with the wind. Your value does not negotiate price. Your worth comes from me and remains stable in bright days and dark days. Learn to respond from this source. When you are tempted to act out of need, remember who sustains you. When you are tempted to remain silent out of shame, remember who lifts you up. I teach you to speak clearly without hurting, to choose boundaries without hardening your affection, to say yes with awareness, and to say no with serenity. A restored identity gives you freedom, and mature freedom makes you responsible, both gently and firmly. I free you from the game of comparisons that sickens the soul. Each one walks a path that I know completely. Look at what I have entrusted to you and serve faithfully in the field that is in your hands. As you do the good you can, I broaden your horizons in due time. Envy loses its strength when gratitude takes over, and pride gives way when the awareness of grace becomes your foundation. You need not compete for space when you know your place is guaranteed in me. Your belonging is not human authorization. It is a seal of my care for your life. I grant you a clear memory to interpret your story with truth and hope. Where you were told you were late, I declare you are in progress. Where you were called weak, I declare you are being strengthened. Where you were called unstable, I teach you possible constancy, repeated in the measure of today. The dignity I bestow upon you does not exempt you from learning. It empowers you to learn without shame. The correction I give you does not humiliate you. It repositions you with love. The past does not dictate your destiny when you walk with me. It becomes a lesson, not a sentence. I align your affections so that your heart finds rest in the right place. I heal the thirst for recognition that made you accept crumbs and show you the banquet of the identity you received. I strengthen your shoulders to carry what is yours and teach you to let go of what is not yours. Thus, your energy returns to the essential, your mind breathes soberly, and your sensitivity ceases to be a trigger for fear and becomes an instrument of discernment. The peace that arises here within will begin to guide your decisions on the outside, and your environment will feel the change of rhythm that comes from your new measure. I also restore your sense of home. Belonging isn't about disappearing, it's about being welcomed without losing who you are. I will surround you with people of peace, alliances that build, and paths that promote the best in you without exploiting you. I will give you the wisdom to draw near when it's time to add, and to draw away when it's time to preserve. Where there's a demand that exhausts you, I will teach you to respond with truth and kindness. Where there's an invitation that scatters you, I will teach you to prioritize with gentle courage. All of this arises from the center where I place you now, holding your identity in my hands so that you may mature with security, walk with lightness, and blossom with purpose. I give you back your name, your place, and your peace. I called you, I keep you, I send you. Give thanks with me, and your eyes will clear to perceive what I am already doing around you. Gratitude doesn't deny pain, it right-sizes it, prevents the wound from deciding for you, and returns to your hands the key to practical hope. When you say thank you for what you have and for what you don't yet see, your mind calms, your heart returns to the rhythm of peace, and your speech aligns with what builds. I teach you to remember with truth, where I protected you from what you couldn't bear, where I lifted you when your breath ran out, where I led you on paths you would only understand later. Gratitude transforms memory into fuel, converts losses into learning, and helps you recognize that my hand remained when everything changed. Learn to be grateful for the small, because it is in them that constancy is born. Be grateful for the possibility of starting over, for the chance to adjust a habit, for a conversation that brought light when thoughts were dark. Thus, the day ceases to be a struggle against haste and becomes a terrain where good can be repeated. Gratitude refocuses. Instead of counting your shortcomings, you begin to notice your resources. Instead of collecting comparisons, you begin to gather confirmations. What once seemed invisible begins to emerge as a sign of my care, the discreet opportunity, the calm response, the strength sufficient for today's stage. When anxiety tries to accelerate your steps, interrupt it with a conscious thank you. Thank you makes room for my direction, creates a gap between impulse and choice, and protects your energy from useless disputes. Gratitude lightens you without making you frivolous, firm without hardening you, lucid without cooling you. It gives language to fidelity. You recognize what I am doing and participate in what I will do, keeping your heart in the right place. Where you once demanded proof, you begin to value processes. Where you once sought spectacles, you begin to honor the silence that sustains. Gratitude also heals your relationship with time. Instead of wanting everything at once, you recognize the rhythm that matures you. I guide you like a farmer who knows the cycle of the seasons. I prepare your soil, remove stones, water seeds, protect sprouts. The fruit will come in its own time. Be grateful for the root that deepens, the stem that strengthens, the leaf that breathes. This awareness frees you from the comparison that steals joy and returns you to the purpose that gives you meaning. What is yours will flourish in its own time, according to your calling. Being thankful doesn't make you passive, it makes you available. With a grateful heart, you choose better, work with focus, rest with purpose, and share generously. Gratitude clears your vision to identify what must end and what deserves to remain. It helps you say no without guilt and yes without haste. It strengthens your memory of good so that when trials come, you have living testimonies to sustain your courage. With each thank you, your inner self finds an anchor. With each anchor, the waves lose strength, and amidst the waves, your peace remains. I give you a simple exercise today. Before closing the day, name 3 reasons for gratitude, and give me a worry you don't have to carry alone. Make it a routine. You'll see how your sleep will be better, how your morning will begin brighter, and how your discernment will become more precise. I walk with you in this exercise. I will strengthen it within you until it becomes a habit, and then it will become a mark. Your story will be recognized by the signs of peace that gratitude leaves. If this word confirms something in your heart, like this video, so that more people can find peace through this direction, wake up with me and position your heart before facing the day's urgencies. I give you a simple start. Breathe, give thanks, write down the essentials. What's essential today fits in your hands and guides your focus without draining your spirit. I align your first steps so the rest finds its place. The day changes when the first decision is born of peace, not haste. Order what you have before you. Choose 3 possible movements. Start what is stuck. Continue what requires constancy. Complete what can already be finished. Fidelity in the small protects you from the fatigue of improvisation. I will teach you to say no to the excess that distracts you and yes to the necessary that bears fruit. Your agenda will not dominate your spirit. Your spirit, guided by me, will give measure to your agenda. Throughout the day, practice short check-ins. Ask yourself silently, what is essential now? When the noise increases, take a brief pause and return priority to what generates life. I will be there in these intervals, clarifying thoughts and calming responses. Peace will be your instrument of discernment. Choices that steal peace require prudence. Choices that expand peace require courage. Walk with this measure and you will see how your energy is preserved for what truly matters. Take care of the body that serves you. Eat soberly, move intentionally, and rest at designated times. Rest is part of the work, not its negation. Without rest, your gaze loses precision. With rest, your discernment becomes sharp again. I will show you the healthy line between dedication and self-demand. Learn to end the day without carrying unnecessary guilt or making promises you can't keep. Close cycles with gratitude and prepare the ground for the next step. I will train you in gentle discipline. It uses clear words, realistic deadlines, and honest reviews. It doesn't strive for perfection, but for presence. Review what has been done midday. Adjust what has gone off track. Simplify what has become too complex. The humility to readjust preserves your progress. I will give you the courage to change course when a better path appears, and the patience to persevere when it is best to persist. Protect your focus. Limit notifications that hijack you. Push away comparisons that drain your joy. Filter conversations that build nothing. I will give you a calm voice to say no without guilt and yes without euphoria. Protected focus frees up time for creativity, and creativity flourishes when the mind breathes. As you tend to your focus, I open spaces that previously seemed occupied by noise. Cultivate peaceful relationships. Seek the right conversation at the right time. Offer to listen before responding, and honor the boundaries of others and your own. I will surround you with alliances that add value and remove demands that drain what I make you cherish. Where there is conflict, choose firmness with kindness. Where there is confusion, restore simplicity. Where there is heaviness, bring measure. As you close out the day, return to me what you haven't resolved. Write down a lesson learned. Record a small step forward. Name what you should begin tomorrow. Give thanks for the subtle confirmations that have appeared along the way. Gratitude closes the door to anxiety and makes room for restorative sleep. I will watch over you while you rest, and the next morning I will find you to begin again with the same rhythm, presence, clarity, constancy. What I propose to you is sustainable. I don't ask for grand gestures every day. I ask for small, repeated adjustments. In a short time, you will notice how the environment changes, how your mind organizes itself, how peace guides you through decisions that were once difficult. I remain by your side in every choice and every pause, teaching you to live with simple direction and consistent fruit. If this direction strengthens your path, sign up to walk with me daily and receive new guidance. Remain with me in the silence that guides and strengthens. I teach you a way of remaining silent that is not an escape, but a direction. When the world pulls you toward immediate answers, turn to me for a moment and let me calm the waters that have risen within you. The silence I ask of you does not muffle your voice. It restores measure to your speech. It gathers scattered thoughts, organizes emotions that have grown beyond their limits, and prepares your inner self for decisions that honor peace and preserve your path. In silence, your vision aligns. What seemed urgent reveals its true magnitude, and what is essential gains light. I whisper advice that is not heard in the noise, and I make you notice the discreet signs I have prepared throughout the day. As you rest within, your judgment becomes refined again. You stop responding impulsively and start responding with conviction. Where once haste prevailed, now serenity guides. Where once fear pushed you, now confidence guides you. Silence does not remove you from life. It returns you to life with full presence. I guide you to listen before speaking, to observe before concluding, to ask before assuming. Thus, you avoid the contention that saps your energy, the misunderstanding that multiplies into noise, the word that causes unnecessary wounds. In the silence I share with you, your identity is established, and your choices are reborn from who you are in me, not from a need for approval. Your calmness begins to convey security, and your gentle firmness becomes a testimony of one who walks on solid foundations. When conflict seeks you out, choose this place of stillness first. I will show you if it's time to speak clearly, if it's time to wait, if it's time to close the deal. The right silence is a bridge to the right words. It helps you identify what's truly important and let go of what's just empty air. It frees you from the cycle of endless justification and invites you to respond with objectivity and love. You'll notice how relationships become healthier when your presence arrives without noise, but with purpose. I also prepare you for strategic decisions in the shelter of this silence. Between two similar doors, you will feel the difference that peace produces. Among multiple tasks, you will identify the one that sustains the others. Among seductive proposals, you will recognize the one that demands your soul and the one that preserves your essence. Do not fear appearing slow to hurried eyes. The step born of my silence arrives whole, arrives at the right time, and is sustained after applause. I teach you to choose the pace that bears fruit and to reject the pace that wears you down. Guard your heart from distractions that occupy without edifying. Select what enters through your eyes and ears, and protect your interior from the excess of opinions that do not know you. I grant you sensitivity to discern when news calls for prayer, when a conversation requires presence, and when an invitation requires a graceful refusal. Silence restores your authority over your attention, and well-guarded attention restores creativity and rest. At the end of the day, return to me in this same place. Review in peace what you have done, learn without guilt from what was missed, and be grateful for the signs of care that have accompanied you. Give me the worries that still try to occupy your mind, and receive back the restorative sleep. While you rest, I continue to watch over you, aligning what your eyes cannot see and preparing what your steps will encounter. Tomorrow, when you begin again, return first to this shelter. Here your strength is restored, your faith is kindled, and your voice regains its rightful weight. Remain in this simple and profound movement, collecting, listening, discerning, acting with peace. The silence I establish within you is not empty, it is presence. It reminds you that you do not walk alone and that you do not need to prove your worth every minute. I am with you. I pacify your inner self so that you may choose clearly and live with purpose. Follow. Where the noise fades, my direction will gain volume within you, and your path will advance safely. Today, I give you a simple and achievable step. Name what is within your reach, and that, accomplished today, will shift your path from inertia to progress. The right step is specific, small, and clear. It fits your time, honors your strengths, and produces a verifiable result. Where your mind tries to encompass everything at once, I teach you to choose an action that opens the next door. Today, I don't ask you for speed, I ask you for precision. When you choose with precision, peace is confirmed and anxiety recedes. Start by writing down what weighs heavily and what matters. Among the many tasks, identify the one that supports the others. If there's a postponed conversation, define the opening phrase and time. If there's a financial commitment, separate the amount and schedule the adjustment. If there's a disorganized desk, clear the space where your hands work. External order serves internal focus. When choosing a step, protect it with a beginning and an end. When you'll begin, how much time you'll dedicate, and what you'll deliver upon completion. I'll be with you during this interval, sobering up your attention. Use peace as your criterion. A well-chosen step reduces noise and increases clarity. It may require courage, but it doesn't hijack your identity or push you into contradictory commitments. If the choice knocks you off balance, breathe and ask what's essential now. I will answer you with gentle guidance. If the choice expands your serenity, execute. Learn to prepare the groundwork, focus on execution, and close with gratitude. Closing is part of moving forward because it frees your mind for the next move without guilt. I'll teach you how to shield today's steps from predictable distractions. Silence notifications during the agreed-upon time. Let those you need know that you'll be focused. and shut down tabs that compete for your attention. Keep only what serves your purpose. When your will wavers, remember that consistency isn't euphoria, it's a repeated decision. A small deed accomplished faithfully is worth more than a big promise without delivery. I'll give you gentle discipline to get through the minutes with focus and emerge on the other side with results. If you encounter obstacles, adapt without abandoning your purpose. Resize your pace, divide it into 2 stages, and review the order of your actions. Flexibility isn't giving up, it's maturity. Whatever you can't complete today, land carefully. Record where you left off, your next move, and the time you'll resume. This way, your mind rests without fear of losing its way. As you move with honesty, I open space where room was lacking and bring help where it seemed scarce. My partnership with you manifests itself in discrete confirmations, an idea that simplifies, information that arrives, energy that returns at the right time. Once the step is complete, celebrate soberly. Acknowledge the progress, be grateful for the strength, and extract the learning. What made things easier, you will repeat. What hindered you, you will adjust. Close this cycle with a gesture of self-care. Hydrate, breathe, take a few steps, reconnect your attention. I form you at a pace that endures. Time. The fruit I seek in you is consistency that does not collapse under the expectations of others. When you feel tempted to overcompensate, remember that excess steals the next day. Maintain moderation. The peace I have given you is a bridge to tomorrow. Keep in mind that this step is not isolated. It speaks to your story and points to your purpose. As you obey in the small, I widen your paths without noise. As you surrender what is due today, I prepare the opportunities that will find you ready. Continue. I am with you in focus, in pause, and in closure. I will give you pleasure in what is right, humility in what needs to be learned, and joy in the simple surrenders that, together, rebuild your path with steadfastness. Write in the comments what your first step will be today and commit your heart to taking it. Keep this moment as a milestone in your journey. The word that reached you today generated peace, clarity, and direction. And every time something builds you up, it deserves to be remembered in a practical way. I teach you to transform what you received into a living memory, so you can return to this point when the noise tries to distract you. What is stored with intention becomes a reference on days when doubt wants to speak louder. Mark this moment. Your mind will recognize the place to return to when you need to regain focus and energy. The memory that builds you is simple and objective. Start by recording in a few lines what I showed you, the decision that arose from this direction, and the small fruit already perceived today. This record is your anchor. It prevents you from starting over from scratch when emotions fluctuate, because it reminds you that progress is not euphoria, it is repeated consistency. When you revisit this milestone, your peace reappears clearly, and your attention returns to serving what is essential. Thus, your inner self learns to abide in the good that makes you grow. It also marks the body of your day with a gesture of return. Choose a fixed time to reread your record and give thanks for what has consolidated since the last review. Gratitude seals the learning in your heart and transforms what was just a moment into part of your story. Gratitude isn't anesthesia, it's applied lucidity. As you give thanks, observe what went well, adjust what needs to change, and strengthen your conviction to continue. What was unstable gains shape, what was diffuse gains a name, what was fragile takes root. I'll teach you a discrete symbol that brings this point back to you whenever you need it. It could be a keyword written down where your eyes frequently find it, a brief reminder first thing in the morning, a small closing ritual at the end of the day. Symbols remind you of truths when haste tries to confuse you. They reconnect you to the peace I've given you and remind you that you don't need to prove anything to continue on your path. The constancy you seek is the fruit of small reminders planted in strategic places in your daily life. When anxiety wants to take over again, it returns to this mark. Read your own writing. Notice the thread of care that accompanied you. Honor the strength I gave you to fulfill what we agreed. Anxiety loses its power when you encounter vivid evidence that the path is moving forward. Instead of arguing with fear, present it with confirmation, the conversation that worked, the decision that preserved your peace, the task that was completed. Fear falls silent before the testimony of the day. Protect this edifying sign from overstimulation. Don't bury it in a sea of notifications. Place it where it can be found effortlessly. Make what needs to be constant easy. Firmness blossoms when you remove unnecessary obstacles. If each return to this mark demands too much of you, it will lose its usefulness. Simplify access, facilitate practice, and reduce friction. I will guide you in organizing this small personal system of memory and courage. Transform what you keep into care for others, but without losing your temper. First, consolidate what you've learned within yourself. Then, share from the overflow, not from the lack. The memory that sustains you today will be sober advice tomorrow. Speak from what you've experienced with dignity, not from theories that haven't yet become flesh within you. Thus, your words will carry weight without violence, and your gestures will have direction without fanfare. The world recognizes consistency when it has become a home within the speaker. As the day closes, you return to this anchor. Review gently, give thanks truthfully, hand over to me what still weighs on you, and prepare the next step with serenity. I will remain with you in this rhythm of saving and revisiting, so that your peace becomes a habit, your focus gains strength, and your hope leaves its mark. Building will become visible in small choices that accumulate, and your story will gain a stability that doesn't depend on the mood of the weather, but on the faithfulness I pour into you now. If this word has edified your heart, watch this video to remember this guidance and make it easier for you to return to it when you need it. I seal within you what I have given you, so that it may not be merely a momentary emotion, but a conviction that sustains your steps when the day is silent. To keep it in your heart is to choose a safe place within yourself, where my word can rest and take root. When restlessness comes asking for proof, return to this place and remember what I have already shown you. I do not move you through euphoria, I form you through constancy. Constancy begins within, where you calmly decide who you want to be in the face of what you cannot control, and extends to the outside, where you faithfully practice small decisions. I teach you to revisit the direction you received with a faith that breathes, a faith that listens before responding, that observes discrete signs, that learns from the process without humiliating itself in the face of setbacks. Each return to me is a replenishment of meaning. In this return, I help you separate noise from guidance, to distinguish weariness from giving up, to realize when you simply need to adjust your speed and not abandon the path. The perseverance I place in you does not harden you, it matures you. It preserves tenderness while developing firmness, preserves gentleness while increasing endurance. Guard your peace like someone protecting a flame in the wind. Peace doesn't keep you from challenges, it gives you poise in the face of them. When external pressure increases, realign your breathing, recognize what is essential, and surrender what is excess to me. I will take care of the excess so it doesn't drown out what is important. You are not defined by the sum of demands. You are guided by the purpose I have entrusted to you. Peace will be your criterion at crossroads. If a choice takes you off course, wait with me. If a choice restores sobriety, move forward with courage. Thus, your heart learns not to trade conviction for momentary approval. Perseverance is also expressed in the ability to start over without drama. When something doesn't go as planned, gather your lessons, dust yourself off, and get back on track. Starting over is part of the journey of those who succeed. It trains you in healthy flexibility, honest adjustment, and the humility that preserves relationships and projects. I will be with you through the adjustments, guiding you, offering resources, and providing encounters that facilitate the journey. Don't underestimate the power of almost. Sometimes the cycle is very close, and your gentle discipline will make that little happen. Also, keep what I say about your value. It doesn't fluctuate with the mood of the day or the opinion of those unfamiliar with your process. Your value endures because it comes from me. From this certainty comes patience with your own pace, and from this patience comes care for those who walk beside you. The perseverance I plant in you improves your outlook on yourself and others. It cuts through comparisons that weaken and makes room for gratitude that strengthens. Be thankful for the small progress, for the right advice, for the courage sufficient for today. Gratitude seals perseverance and keeps you upright without arrogance. I will show you how to transform obstacles into reminders of purpose. When the door feels heavy, remember why you chose it. When your schedule feels full, remember what truly matters. When criticism comes, filter what helps you grow and discard what only hurts. Your attention is a sacred resource. Direct it with intention. Perseverance is caring for your attention, saying yes to what builds you up and no to what distracts you. Ending conversations that lead nowhere, and investing energy in what bears fruit at the right time. I will walk with you in these choices and give you the discernment to perceive the fruit even while it is still a seed. Keep in your heart the decision not to confuse noise with movement. I often work in silence, aligning what your eyes cannot yet reach. While you form yourself internally, I prepare the stage externally. While you solidify habits, I organize connections. While you maintain your focus on the good that is possible, I broaden your horizons with legitimate doors. This synchronicity is my care in action, and perseverance allows you to cross the bridge between what is invisible today and what will be visible tomorrow without getting lost along the way. At the end of the day, return to the center where you find me. Review with yourself what was planted, celebrate what has blossomed, water with prayer what still sprouts. Give me the weight that tried to remain and receive the rest I prepare for you. Rest is not a reward, it is part of the method. It renews your sensitivity, preserves your courage, and sharpens your hearing. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, I will call you again to the Krekgar, simple and essential. And you will know that persevering is continuing to respond to this call with your whole heart, one step at a time, without haste or pause, guarding within yourself what I have told you until it becomes life in your life. I sustain you as you guard, I guide you as you continue, and I crown you where you remain faithful. I call you to a step of reconciliation wherever there are gaps that still hurt. I know the stories that were broken, the words spoken inappropriately, the silence that became a wall, and the excess that hurt unintentionally. I do not lead you to revisit them to recreate the pain, but to heal what can be healed and end with peace what should not continue. Reconciliation in me is an encounter between truth and mercy. Truth names, mercy restores, and peace confirms the path. Forgiving isn't denying what happened. It's removing from your heart the poison the past insists on dripping. Forgiving doesn't force you to return to a dynamic that makes you sick. Healthy boundaries are an expression of love for the life I entrusted to you. Where there's a possibility of restoring safely and responsibly, I will guide you through gentle, clear steps. Where restoration would put your soul at risk, I will show you how to close with dignity and move forward without bitterness. Reconciliation begins within you. I touch the guilt that weighs too heavily and transform accusation into learning. I don't humiliate you with the truth. I gently reposition you. I allow you to see your part with clarity so that you can ask for forgiveness without self-contempt and offer forgiveness without superiority. Thus, your heart breathes again in the rhythm of love that does not abandon justice, but also does not feed on revenge. Where memory pushes you to repeat the mistake, I rewrite the reflection with the seal of my peace. When I send you to someone, observe the mark of my hand, the right time, the sober word, the purpose to build. He enters with a gentle voice and a firm spine. He says what is necessary with honesty, reaches out for what is possible, and respects limits when the response is not adequate. Reconciliation is not a victory in a debate. It is the choice to sow peace where there was once noise. If the other is not ready, I will ask you to maintain a respectful distance and pray constantly. I act where your eyes cannot reach and prepare what your embrace cannot yet hold. I will also make you repair what is within your reach. A restitution of a word, an overdue act of care, a concrete action that demonstrates a change of course. Repairing doesn't erase the past, but signals the future. Humility that takes responsibility opens space for trust to grow again. And when trust needs to be born slowly, I will give you the patience to build slowly, step by step, in step with the truth. Not every story will be reconstituted as it was. Some relationships will be different and still healthy. Others will end with peace and respect. The fruit of reconciliation, in all cases, is clean freedom and maturity that protects. I break patterns of pain that have spanned generations, closing cycles of repetition and opening new paths of sobriety and affection. Where there was permanent defense, a whole heart is born. Where there was hardness, gentle firmness is born. Where there was fear, courage that serves good is born. I send you to be a bridge where you were once a wall. Your presence will bring rest. Your speech will bring clarity. Your silence will offer space for repentance to blossom. Walk with me in every gesture. Check your peace before you go, during the conversation and afterward. Signs of confirmation will accompany you, relief within, clarity about the next step, and no need to prove yourself. Thus you will know that your movement was born from my heart and not from haste or need. Walk in love and truth. I go before you to prepare the ground. I stand beside you to sustain your spirit, and I stand behind you to protect you from what tries to pull you back. Where you reach out with intention. Where you need to let go with confidence. In both, I am your peace. And while you take care of rebuilding what I can rebuild, I take care of opening doors to the new chapter we write together. If this word has brought you peace, share it now with whoever my spirit reminds you of, and sow reconciliation wherever I send you. This is the moment to fully confirm what your heart has already silently decided. I see your intention and honor your desire to walk with me truthfully. Even so, I teach you to mark choices with simple gestures that act as an anchor when the days get noisy. The gesture doesn't buy me, it doesn't convince me, and it doesn't replace your daily commitment. It reminds you of who you are, the path you've chosen, and the reason you're moving forward. The commitment we make now will give you memory when emotions waver and perseverance when haste tries to distract you. Agreeing with me is choosing sobriety over any sensation. The faith I give you is a light for your steps, not a weight on your shoulders. By transforming your decision into a sign, you take it out of the world of intentions and bring it into daily practice. I will guide you in decisions that honor this yes, more precise words, clearer habits, firmer priorities. Each morning, you will remember your agreement. Each night, you will gather discreet confirmation that you are on the right path. Public commitment does not display vanity, it displays purpose. See how a conscious seal reorganizes your interior. It helps you distinguish the essential from the urgent, reduce explanations that empty you, and reject arguments that build nothing. It gives you the boldness to say no to excess and the serenity to say yes to what bears fruit. Where once weariness drove you, now a simple conviction sustains you. Where once doubt opened shortcuts, now your peace establishes firm paths. The seal I ask of you is an active reminder that your heart has united with my direction. This gesture also protects your attention. When many call your name with proposals that shine on the outside, you will remember the pact we made. You will first ask if there is peace, if there is truth, if there is coherence with what I have already told you. If there is, walk. If there isn't, stay on your path. Guarded attention is fertile ground for creativity and constancy. I will teach you to focus without rigidity, to adjust without guilt, to pause without fear. Commitment gives you the foundation to navigate change without losing yourself. I also want you to see how a simple seal can become a testimony. When you grow weary, it will tell you why you began. When you rejoice, it will remind you of who sustained you. When you stumble, it will invite you to begin again with humility and steadfastness. I do not call you to a one-day heroism, but to a fidelity lasting many days. Today's gesture is a milestone in the journey's midst, not the end. It proclaims that your response is whole and that your yes lives on as you learn, adjust, and grow. Remain in this spirit of sobriety and peace. I will give you discreet signs of confirmation, a conversation that arrives at the right time, a perspective that illuminates the decision, a rest that precedes the next step. Receive each confirmation as my care and each disagreement as my protection. You will lack nothing when your will remains aligned with my direction. I walk before you, beside you, and behind you, guarding your path, strengthening your spirit, and broadening your vision with balance. Now, make visible what your heart has already decided. Mark this moment as your reminder of the yes you offer me, a memory you will find every time you need to regain courage, focus, and hope. I support you in your choice, I educate you in the process, and I mature you along the way. With this seal, we close what was left behind and make room for what I will make blossom from this day forward. He walks with dignity, breathes with confidence, acts with purpose. I am with you. If your heart agrees with this direction, write 7,777 inches, the comments now, as your seal of faith and memory. I call you to walk with me every day with a whole heart and a rhythm you can manage. Constant presence is the path where your peace matures and your purpose takes shape. Each morning, find me before the noise, offer me your first minutes, and let me align your attention with what is essential. The day changes when the first gesture is born of peace. With me, the simple becomes enough. Listen, act, review, rest. This cycle sustains what you are building and preserves your spirit when your schedule gets busy. I will give you a meaningful routine. Start with what matters, continue consistently, and complete what can be finished today. Gentle discipline is the path that keeps you from wasting energy on things that don't bear fruit. Use short check-ins to find your bearings throughout the day. Ask silently what is essential now, and I will answer you clearly. When anxiety tries to accelerate, breathe and return to me. Peace doesn't erase your responsibility, it organizes it. It shows you the healthy limit, the necessary pause, the adjustment that keeps you on your productive path without breaking you inside. I teach you to guard your focus like someone protecting a treasure. Filter what enters through your eyes and ears. Say no to the excess that drains, and say yes to what builds at the right time. Your attention is sacred because it directs your life. I will give you the sensitivity to prioritize with gentle courage, without guilt or euphoria. The constancy I seek in you is not harshness, but loyalty to repeated goodness. When you tire, remember that rest is part of the method. It is in rest that your discernment sharpens, your creativity reappears, and your hope is renewed for the next step. I will be your companion in small acts of fidelity. Firmness grows where the promise fits in the day. I don't ask you for grand gestures every moment. I ask for faithful presence in the measure of today. As you obey in the small, I expand your reach without fuss. As you do your part, I open doors that no force could impose. And when something doesn't go as expected, I teach you to start over without drama, to adjust without shame, to move on without losing tenderness. The patience I pour upon you makes you stable in seasons of much and little, and preserves your dignity when you need to say no yet. I will also meet you at the end of the day. Bring what you did, what you learned, what weighed on you, and what brought you joy. Review with me with gratitude, record progress, and hand over what didn't fit. Gratitude closes the door to anxiety and makes room for restorative sleep. While you rest, I watch over you. I organize what your eyes don't see, prepare discreet solutions, and arrange necessary meetings. When you wake, you will find the path again. Listen, act, review, rest. This is how I shape you from within, while your path solidifies on the outside. I will give you confirmations in the midst of your routine, a conversation that arrives at the right time, a simple idea that resolves a complex issue, a relief that precedes a decision. You learn to notice these signs because they testify that we walk together. And if at any moment the rush of the world calls you off course, return to the center where you find me. My voice will remind you who you are, why you are doing what you do, and how to proceed without harming your essence. You do not walk alone. I remain before you, beside you, and behind you, guarding your path and steadying your steps. Continue in this rhythm that sustains, daily presence, small acts of faithfulness, honest reviews, protected rest. This is where your story gains stability, your fruits become consistent, and your peace becomes a sign for others. I will guide you with wisdom, strengthen you in the long days, and give you joy in each simple surrender that points to the purpose I have entrusted to you. Continue. I am with you in the step, in the pause, and in the purpose every day. If this direction confirms your path, like and subscribe to walk with me daily and receive new guidance. Come to me and allow me to replenish your inner peace, calm your breathing, and surrender what weighs you down so that I can restore measure and direction. When the day pulls you in many directions, I bring you back to the center where my voice organizes your thoughts, pacifies your emotions, and strengthens your steps. Here, your soul remembers that it doesn't need to prove its worth every minute because your worth comes from me and remains stable. Here, your attention stops chasing after what shines and returns to serving what builds. Transform tension into simple prayer, You don't need speech to be heard by me. You need truth. Say what weighs you down, name what confuses you, present what you can't control. As you communicate, I realign priorities and show you what is essential now. What was too large becomes a possible step. What seemed urgent reveals its true size. My peace doesn't distance you from responsibility, it organizes it, separating what is yours from the excess that I myself will carry. This is where impulse loses strength and wisdom gains voice. Instead of responding in the heat of the moment, learn to pause for a moment with me. Pausing isn't delay, it's precision. In it, I will give you just words when it's time to speak, safe silence when it's time to listen, and a gentle closing when it's time to conclude. Thus, your energy isn't dissipated in pointless arguments, and your heart remains whole as you navigate difficult conversations. I also reorganize your emotions. They signal you, but they don't govern you. Where anxiety raised the tone, I lower the volume and restore judgment. Where fear threatened you with old memories, I remind you of recent preservations that prove my care. Where discouragement wanted to make you give up, I rekindle purpose with small confirmations that arrive discreetly and accurately. The serenity that arises within will become a compass for external choices, and you will see how the environment changes when your presence arrives, pacified. Now, receive a rhythm that sustains you throughout the day. When you feel overwhelmed, you establish microcycles of care. Breathe, pray, journal, act, repeat as many times as necessary. These small cycles close the door on the buildup of tension and keep your mind clear. I will be with each repetition, nourishing your attention with focus and your heart with enthusiasm. Gentle constancy in these cycles produces fruits of stability that don't collapse at the first gust of wind. I will teach you how to protect peace with practical decisions. Limit your exposure to distractions, organize your information intake, and create short breaks to refocus your attention. Where excess visits you, respond with moderation. Where comparison calls, respond with gratitude. Where haste pushes you, respond with presence. With these responses, your peace ceases to be a rare moment and becomes a state cultivated throughout the day, resilient and productive. In the midst of your work, I will give you signs, a simple idea that resolves a complex issue, clear advice that arrives at just the right moment, relief that precedes the right decision. Learn to recognize these signs and be grateful for them, for they are my signature on your path. And when fatigue strikes, honor healthy limits. Proper rest is part of the method, not its denial. In rest, I restore your sensitivity so that the next step may emerge without violence. As you end this pause with me, take with you the certainty that peace is an instrument of discernment. What increases it tends to align you with my direction. What robs it requires rethinking. Walk with this criterion and you will see how lighter choices will produce more solid results. I remain with you in this hour and in the coming ones, nourishing your soul with serenity, guarding your focus with purpose, and guiding your journey with love. Return whenever you need. Here, your peace is replenished, your courage is strengthened, and your hope finds the breath to move forward with dignity. I am with you. I teach you to transform peace into daily practice through gentle constancy. Constancy is not harshness, it is loyalty to repeated goodness. Today, I want you to turn the memory of what I told you into an instrument of permanence. Remember to remain. Each time you remember the direction, you reconnect with your purpose, reorganize your attention, and choose anew what builds. Thus, your heart learns to sustain the journey, even when the day comes without euphoria. Mark small memory anchors along your path. a word that summarizes the day's direction, a fixed time to recap what worked, a brief record of what you need to start tomorrow. These anchors make it easier to get back on track when the noise tries to distract you. I'm not asking you for big reports. I'm asking, what useful memory? What gave you peace? What brought you closer to your purpose? What you can repeat faithfully? Consistency grows where memory is easily accessible. Practice microcycles that consolidate progress. Breathe, give thanks, write, act, repeat as needed. These cycles close the door to the accumulation of tension and open windows to clarity. Gratitude gives language to your faithfulness. You recognize my hand in the simple. You honor discrete progress. You convert today's seed into tomorrow's fruit. Observe how each small compliment strengthens your confidence. The soul learns that insisting on what is right produces rest, and rest well spent produces focus. Record your micro-victories, not for vanity, but for memory. A conversation conducted soberly, a limit stated tenderly, a task completed with focus. When discouragement strikes, reread these milestones. They will remind you that the path is alive and that you are shaped by processes, not impulses. Consistency doesn't ask for perfection, it does a presence, and repeated presence becomes habit, and a well-cultivated habit becomes testimony. Protect your constancy with practical choices. Reduce the excess that hijacks your attention. Limit comparisons that drain you, and set aside brief breaks to check what's essential now. If a decision persistently robs you of peace, reevaluate. Peace is yours. Signal between similar options. Where peace grows, the direction is confirmed. Where peace wanes, the pace requires revision. Use this ruler with humility and courage. I will give you the clarity to adjust without guilt and the patience to remain when fidelity demands repetition without applause. Train your heart to celebrate without exaggeration and to correct without self-punishment. When you succeed, give thanks and repeat. When you fail, learn and start again. The pendulum between euphoria and guilt tires. The rhythm between gratitude and adjustment matures. I walk with you in this rhythm, teaching you to give the right weight to what matters. What needs to grow receives care. What needs closure receives courage. What needs to wait receives peace. Consistency is the art of distributing your strengths well. Transfer the memory of the invisible to visible signs. A reminder in the morning, a phrase at the end of the day, a place of prayer that your mind recognizes as a return to center. These signs save you the effort of decision-making when fatigue tries to choose for you. And when you feel lighter, don't confuse lightness with superficiality. The lightness I give arises from clear priorities, from a guarded focus, and from respected rest. I will remain with you in the repetition of good. As you practice the essentials, I will solidify your path from the outside. As you record what is valuable, I will increase your clarity. As you remain wholehearted, I will give you discrete confirmations. The simple idea that solves the problem, the advice that arrives in time, the relief that precedes the right decision. Learn to recognize them as my signature on your day. The constancy I ask of you is possible because I sustain you. Keep remembering to remain, remaining to bear fruit. Review with kindness, think truthfully, resume with courage. What is exercised today will be Kemark. And when others ask you where your stability comes from, you will know how to answer. From the habit of returning to center, keeping the peace, and repeating good with fidelity. I am with you in the step, in the pause, and in the continuity. Walk. Your tomorrow will recognize the seed of today. If this direction has strengthened your heart, Watch this video to mark this commitment and facilitate your return to this word when you need it. I lead you to transform into action what has already blossomed in your heart. The care you have received has a direction beyond you and finds fulfillment when it reaches those who walk wearily. I am not sending you to make noise. I am sending you to sow peace. Ask me now to bring to your remembrance a specific name, a face in need of shelter, a heart that is filled with unanswered questions. I will show you whom to reach out to and how to do so with sobriety, so that your testimony may be a source and not a burden. The testimony that edifies arises from the simplicity of what has been experienced. Speak from what I have already consolidated within you, the peace that reappeared when you breathed with me, the decision you found the courage to make, the limit you tenderly set, the door that opened silently. Do not dramatize or embellish. Truth has its own strength because it bears my signature. It offers a sober word, an attentive listening, an invitation to rest, a pointer to the direction I have given you. The world feeds on spectacle, but hearts heal in the discreet terrain of true presence. Observe the right time, because time also speaks. I will give you the sensitivity to recognize when another's soul is receptive and when it still needs space. If I move you, go. If I make you wait, honor the rhythm and pray for it. Your obedience in the exact timing protects what is emerging. Do not push doors anxiously. It presents keys of peace. When peace becomes the environment, the word will find a home and the seed will have a place to sow. Bring with you a willingness to serve without controlling. Testimony doesn't set an outcome, it offers a path. You are no one's savior, you are a bridge. I am the God who saves, heals, and guides. This gives you the lightness to love without invading, to advise without imposing, to insist on good without losing yourself. If the response is broken, offer comfort and truth. If silence comes, respect. If resistance comes, leave a window open for return. I act in the intervals your eyes cannot see, preparing encounters, reorganizing intentions, healing memories. The reach of what you share multiplies when your gesture combines words and actions. A sincere message can pave the way for a brief call. A call can pave the way for objective help. Objective help can pave the way for a reconciliation that seemed impossible. Your role is to present possible steps. Mine is to breathe life into them. Remain meek in heart and firm in spine, because meekness lowers guards and firmness provides direction when weariness tries to confuse. Learn to recognize the confirmations I send you after I care for you. Sometimes it will be an inner relief that visits you and the person reached. Sometimes a return phrase that signals openness. Sometimes just the silent peace that rests upon the previously tense atmosphere. In these discreet signs, I tell you to continue, adjust, pray a little longer, and call it a day. A testimony that flourishes with health is not measured by euphoria, but by signs of life that are repeated with sobriety. Keep your limits too. Overflowing comes from a full source, not from an empty one. Remain in me, return to center, replenish peace, and then share. If conversation drains you beyond what is safe, retreat with me, breathe, and reset the measure. The generosity I ask for doesn't break you, it structures you. It allows you to care without losing yourself, to help without becoming confused, to give without exhausting yourself. When you feel your margin narrowing, ask me for wisdom to transform presence into prayer and prayer into direction. Wherever you find hearts wounded by haste, offer the rhythm I teach you. Listen, act, review, rest. Where there is chaos, offer a possible step. Where there is humiliation, offer dignity. Where there is harsh conversation, offer the clear and brief word that heals wounds. You will become a sign that it is possible to live differently, not by force of arm, but by grace that organizes the inside and the outside. This is the testimony, your life telling of my faithfulness so that others may find their way. I send you forth, light and attentive, with a pocket full of small seeds that carry peace, truth, and purpose. Do not cast them as one seeking applause, but as one who loves. Some will germinate quickly, others only after the rain, others will be remembered years later. Trust in my timing. I treasure every gesture, collect every tear, honor every honest attempt. Your part is to be available and whole, mine is to foster growth. Continue. I go before you to prepare the conversation. I remain beside you to sustain your voice, and I stand behind you to protect what has been planted. And when you finish, return to me to give thanks, learn, and rest. Thus the cycle is completed, receiving, guarding, overflowing, resting. This is how your story becomes a home for others, and your path becomes a map for those who must cross the night toward the dawn. If this word has sparked a gesture of care in you, share it now with the person. My spirit reminds you of and bring peace wherever I send you. I call you to begin each day with me before the noise finds you. When you place your heart in my presence, the essential becomes visible and the accessory loses its power. Take the first few minutes to breathe, give thanks, and name what matters today. I will give you the focus to choose what to start, what to continue, and what to conclude, so that your time works in your favor. The peace I place within you does not relieve you of responsibility. It reorganizes it, separating what is yours from what I myself will carry. Walk this simple path. Listen, act, review, rest. As you listen, welcome my guidance without internal disputes. As you act, surrender to the possible step with full attention. As you review, learn without guilt from what you missed and celebrate with sobriety what you have achieved. As you rest, release the weight that doesn't fit you and receive the breath that renews your discernment. Those who maintain this rhythm mature in the midst of the seasons because they don't depend on euphoria to endure and don't get lost when the day arrives silently. Protect your focus like a treasure. Filter what enters through your eyes and ears. Reduce notifications that hijack your attention, limit uneducated conversations, and ward off comparisons that sicken the soul. I will give you the gentle courage to say no without guilt and yes without euphoria. Protected focus restores strength to your mind, margins for your time, and meaning to your work. Creativity flourishes where attention is well tended, and well-tended attention flourishes where peace reigns. Throughout the day, practice short check-ins. Ask silently what is essential now. I will answer you clearly, guiding your decisions by the measure of peace. When a choice persistently steals your peace, review your steps. When peace increases, confirm the path. It's that simple. Peace is a ruler and a compass. It saves you. Unnecessary disputes, cuts corners that cost you dearly later, and keeps your energy available for what truly bears fruit. Take care of the body that serves you. Eat soberly, move with intention, and honor rest as part of the method. Without rest, your eyes lose their sharpness. With rest, your hearing becomes more acute. I will show you the healthy boundary between dedication and self-demand. Learn to close your inner work, even when something is postponed until tomorrow. Closing is an act of faith. It is trusting that I continue to align what your eyes cannot see and prepare what your steps will encounter. I will surround you with subtle signs along the way. A conversation that arrives at the right time, a simple idea that resolves a complex issue, a relief that precedes the right decision. Learn to notice these confirmations and be grateful for them. They are my signature on your day, reminders that you do not walk alone. When you stumble, get up with serenity. Adjust what is necessary, reduce what has become too big, reinforce what supports the rest. The humility to correct preserves your progress and keeps your heart teachable. If the unexpected arises, don't compromise your essence. Return to your center, find peace, and decide soberly. What comes from me will sustain what is true within you. What comes from impulse will exact a heavy toll on you later. I don't ask for perfection, I ask for presence. Presence in the small acts of loyalty that, together, build a solid path. As you obey in your daily life, I open legitimate doors without fanfare. As you do your part, I prepare resources, encounters, and exits that arrive with the cadence of favor. At the end of the day, return to me. Review what you've done, record what you've learned, give thanks for the confirmations, and surrender what still weighs on you. The sleep I give you will be refuge and restoration. Tomorrow, we will meet again at the beginning, and the same simple rhythm will await you. Listen, act, review, rest. This is how I form you from within, while your path solidifies from without, with peace that guides, constancy that sustains, and purpose that gives meaning. If this guidance strengthens your path, sign up to walk with me daily and continue receiving new guidance. Approach me with complete attention and let me lead you to the listening that produces clarity. Silence for a moment what competes with your senses and allows space for my voice to organize your inner self. When the mind slows down, the essential emerges. Today I will give you a simple and vivid phrase, an insight that will fit in your pocket and will guide you through the next few hours. This phrase will be a lantern for the day's crossroads, a ruler for excesses, and an anchor for your peace. Let this listening be clear and practical. Don't come to me in a rush for a show. Come hungry for truth. Ask sincerely what's essential now, and wait a little longer than usual. In the pause, born of trust, I give you short, precise guidance. When you receive it, record it soberly. Write it the way your heart understands, without embellishment. A clear record saves energy later and restores focus when noise tries to distract you. Now transform the sentence into a possible step. The insight I give you is not a decoration, it's a tool. It seeks the gesture that speaks to it today. If I tell you about prioritizing, choose what begins, what continues, what concludes. If I tell you about reconciliation, prepare the right conversation and the right time. If I tell you about care, set aside the time for your body to breathe and your mind to organize. Insight becomes a path when it finds an action that fits into your today. Check peace as confirmation. Peace doesn't relieve you of responsibility, it commands it. When you apply this phrase to your choices, notice if your peace increases. If it grows, move on. If it persistently diminishes, review your pace and ask again. There's no guilt in adjusting. There's maturity. Obedient listening doesn't restrict you. It makes you flexible enough to correct your course without losing your way. I will give you the sensitivity to perceive the moment to move forward, the moment to wait, and the moment to close. Throughout the day, revisit the insight in micro pauses. Look at the sentence, breathe, and ask yourself if what you're doing resonates with it. These short encounters prevent you from getting lost in demands that aren't yours. When fatigue calls you to improvise, return to the sentence and regain your composure. This way, your attention quickly returns to the essential and your energy stops being wasted on pointless arguments. I will be present in the discreet confirmations that accompany your obedience. You will see the right conversation arrive at the right time, the simple idea that resolves the complex, the relief that precedes the decision. Be grateful for these signs and follow the rhythm I give you. Do not seek euphoria. The fruit I cultivate in you matures in constancy. The insight of the day is a seed that becomes a root, then a stem, then a leaf, then a fruit. Respect the cycle and rest in the care I offer you. At the end of the day, return to what you wrote. Review how much the phrase guided you. Celebrate what progress you made, and record what will need attention tomorrow. Give me the remaining weight and guard the peace I offer you. While you rest, I align what your eyes cannot see. Tomorrow, I will give you another light for the next stretch, and thus I will form you from within while your path solidifies on the outside. Walk with me in this simple yet profound rhythm. Listen, note, act, review. This is the rhythm that keeps you whole through the seasons. Here your voice finds measure, your focus finds home, and your hope finds breath. I am with you and guide you every step of the way. Write in the comments the phrase that will be your insight for today and take it with you as a guide throughout the day. I strengthen you so that you walk whole, even when the pressure increases. The firmness I give you is not a hardness that hurts, it is a stability that sustains. It arises from the peace I gave you and is confirmed when you choose the essential among many options. Keep your measure. Do not trade your essence for urgencies that do not belong to you. Where noise demands haste, respond with presence. Where comparison calls you, respond with gratitude. Where excess drains you, respond with limits. I teach you to get through the silent days without losing your way. The constancy I ask of you is loyalty to the repeated good. Keep the rhythm simple. Listen, act, review, rest. If you stumble, start over with serenity. A quick restart is worth more than a long excuse. What matters is the next clear, honest, achievable step. I will be with you in this step, strengthening your attention and aligning your heart with your purpose. Use peace as your ruler. If a decision persistently steals your peace, reconsider with humility. If peace grows at the touch of a choice, confirm the path with courage. Peace is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of my hand in the process. It protects your lucidity, organizes your energy, and guards you from disputes that build nothing. With this ruler, your firmness ceases to be tense resistance and becomes gentle stability. Protect your boundaries like someone who cares for a garden. You are responsible for the doors you leave open and the time you dedicate to things that don't bear fruit. Select what enters your eyes and ears, regulate what occupies your mind, and avoid conversations that only inflame without enlightening. A healthy boundary isn't coldness, it's care. It allows your love to be sustainable, your generosity to take root, and your work to retain meaning. I will give you the language to assert yourself without hurting, and the posture to refuse without blaming. Learn to say yes to what is yours and no to what distracts you. Learn to end with dignity what has already served its purpose. The right closure makes room for the new I prepare. And while you organize on the outside, I consolidate on the inside, the pure courage that chooses for good even when it trembles. This is how your steadfastness matures, combining truth with gentleness, clarity with kindness, purpose with rest. When fatigue sets in, embrace it as a sign, not a sentence. Take a brief break that restores your judgment. Hydrate your body, breathe mindfully, walk a few steps, and review the essentials. Proper rest sharpens your hearing and allows you to choose with precision. Haste promises speed, but takes a heavy toll on discernment. Rest preserves your vision and multiplies your reach. I train you to endure, not just to begin. I also give you eyes to notice discrete confirmations along the way. A simple idea that resolves a complex issue, a conversation that puts everything in its place, a relief that precedes a decision. Be grateful for these signs. They show you don't walk alone. When something goes off track, correct it honestly and move on. When something flows, repeat it soberly and share your learning with those who walk with you. Thus, your firmness becomes service, and your stability becomes shelter for others. Remain attentive to what makes you whole. Nourish your spirit with my word. Protect your focus with clear choices. Honor your body with rest and movement. I ground you in who you are so you can sustain what you do. Your work will carry the weight of your peaceful interior. And when the season changes, continue with the same center, peace as your ruler, truth as your path, love as your strength. I will accompany you through each adjustment, leading you by the hand to the next level of maturity. Move forward with gentle firmness. Restart quickly when necessary. End peacefully when the time is right, and advance courageously when peace confirms. This is the path that preserves you and makes you bear fruit at the right time. I am with you in your steps, in your pauses, and in your purpose, guarding your essence while I broaden your horizons. If this guidance has strengthened your path, watch this video to mark this commitment and return to this word when you need it. Now seal in your heart the path you have chosen. I see your decision and confirm with peace the commitment you have made to me throughout this journey. The seal I ask of you is neither bargaining nor superstition. It is a living memory of your yes. It will help you remember who you are when the day gets noisy, regain direction when haste tries to drag you away, sustain hope when silence visits you. What you soberly decide today will become the foundation for your next steps. You receive this confirmation as rest, not as a burden. Confirmation ends the cycle of indecision and restores your energy for what is essential. It reminds you that I have already been on the day that has not yet arrived and prepared resources, encounters, and exits. The peace I give you now is my seal upon you. Where peace increases, follow. Where peace recedes, revise. This simple rule will protect you from costly shortcuts and guide you along firm paths. Walking with me is learning to allow peace to guide you, not haste. Transform your internal response into a conscious gesture. The gesture does not increase my love for you, but it expands your clarity regarding what you have chosen. It takes the decision out of the realm of intentions and brings it to practice. When later on, doubt arises with old stories, you will remember this moment and say to your heart, I have already decided to remain on the path of peace, truth, and constancy. The gesture will save you energy because it will give you a point of return when your mind tries to distract you. I will give you discrete signs after this seal. A conversation will arrive at the right time. An understanding will clarify the choice. A relief will rest upon what was tense. Learn to notice these signs without demanding a spectacle. The favor that endures works without fanfare. It organizes the inside so that the outside finds order. It shows you when to speak precisely, when to wait calmly, and when to close with dignity. Thus, your strength is not exhausted in useless arguments, and your focus remains applied to what bears fruit. Also, seal with simple actions what you say with your mouth. Protect your focus with healthy boundaries. Honor the rest that renews discernment. Practice short checks that restore priority to the essential. Repeat the good you can, even without applause. Your fidelity in small things opens doors that force would not. If you stumble, start over without drama. If you succeed, repeat without vanity. Confirmation doesn't make you rigid. It makes you stable. It doesn't isolate you, it integrates you into your purpose with measured and gentle courage. This seal doesn't end your journey, it inaugurates the next stage. It affirms that your yes remains alive as you learn, adjust, and mature. When you feel pressured by demands that dispute your center, return to what you confirmed here. When comparison wants to divert you, return to what I confirmed in you. When haste wants to command, return to the peace I gave you as a compass. I go before you, preparing the way, by your side, sustaining your spirit, and behind you, protecting what has been planted. Surrender to me now your anxiety about the outcome, and take back responsibility for the possible steps. I will take care of what is beyond your reach, while you take care of what I have entrusted to you today. Confirmation frees you to work with focus and rest with purpose. It reminds you that fruit has a time to bear fruit, and that proper care accelerates what truly matters. My gaze accompanies you, my arm sustains you, my voice guides you. Walk with dignity, remain serene, and advance with courage whenever peace confirms. Receive this seal as an anchor for the silent days, as a reminder for the busy days, and as an intimate testimony that your life is being built on a solid foundation. I bless you in the commitment that renews your hope and strengthens your constancy. Persevere. I am with you in your steps, in your pauses, and in your purpose. If you agree with this direction, write 7,777 inches, the comments now, as your seal of faith and memory. I lead you to transform into action what I have already established in your heart. The care that reached you today does not end with you. It finds fulfillment when it reaches those who need it most, in the right measure and at the right time. I am not sending you to make noise. I am sending you to sow peace. Ask me now for the sensitivity to perceive a specific name, a face that I myself bring to your mind, someone who is at the margins of hope, someone who has lost the compass of hope. I will show you whom to reach and how to do so with sobriety, so that your presence is a home and not a burden, a direction and not a pressure. The testimony that edifies is born from what is true within you. It speaks from what you have experienced with me, and that has already taken root. The peace that reappeared when you returned to your center, the gentle courage to choose what is essential, the limit spoken with tenderness that preserved your heart, the simple discipline that organized your day, the door that opened at just the right time. Don't embellish to impress, don't dramatize to move. Truth has its own strength, bears my signature, and finds its way when spoken quietly. It offers a sober and objective word, a listening ear that doesn't rush answers, a discreet invitation to breathe and regain direction. Often, it is in simplicity that the weary heart finds shelter. Discernment is part of caring. Observe the time. I will give you the perception to notice when the other person's soul is ready to receive, and when it still needs space. If I move you, move forward with gentleness and clarity. If I ask you to wait, honor the rhythm and guard your heart in prayer. Caring doesn't push doors, it presents keys of peace. Where peace is present, the word will find a home. Where peace does not yet fit, prayer prepares the ground. I am the Lord of time and processes, and I will teach you to walk in the rhythm of grace without anxiety or omission. Compassionate sharing begins by seeing the other as I see them. Behind harsh responses are wounds that call for caution. Behind long silences are memories that still hurt. I will give you eyes to see beyond behavior, to recognize signs of fatigue, to hear not only the words, but also what the pain tries to say without success. Your listening will be a bridge for the wounded heart to cross, from defensiveness to trust. Your brief word, when guided by me, will be the seed that begins another chapter. Be practical and tender. A sincere message can pave the way for a short conversation that brings order where there was confusion. A conversation can pave the way for objective help that lifts a concrete burden from the other person's day. Objective help can pave the way for reconciliation that seemed impossible. Don't try to solve everything at once. Solid paths are built with achievable steps. Your role is to offer direction. Mine is to breathe life into choices. Your presence will be rest. Your words will bring clarity. Your silence will offer space for repentance to blossom without humiliation. I protect you from two extremes that undermine care: control and abandonment. Control is born of fear, disguised as zeal, and respects no boundaries. Abandonment is born of fatigue, disguised as prudence, and sustains no process. I will teach you to accompany without holding back, to guide without invading, to be present without suffocating. If there is openness, advance a little further. If there is resistance, retreat without bitterness and leave a window open for return. Compassion is recognized by patience with the other's time and the courage to remain when it is time to remain, and to remain silent when it is time to remain silent. Pay attention to the discreet confirmations I send after you share. Sometimes it will be a sigh of relief that rests within you and the other person. Sometimes a simple phrase signaling that the seed has found soil. Sometimes just a change in the conversation's mood, which stops being contentious and becomes possibility. In these signs, read my direction, continue, adjust, pray a little more, call it a day. The fruit that remains grows without spectacle. I will free you from the need to measure everything in euphoria. Learn to celebrate life when it appears as a small, consistent sign, because that is how I mature what is born. Keep your limits, because overflowing comes from a full source, not from an empty one. Remain in me so that your giving does not break you. Replenish peace, return to center, breathe my care, and then share. If conversation pulls you beyond what is safe, withdraw and grant peace. If heaviness tries to settle in your soul, surrender it to me and regain measure. Generosity that comes from me organizes and strengthens. Generosity born of haste becomes confused and takes a heavy toll later. The wisdom of care lies in keeping a tender heart and a firm spine, an outstretched hand, and a guarded attention. Remember that I send you to different contexts with the same essence. At work, your demeanor can restore dignity to those who have been exposed. Your fair words can lower the temperature of a conflict. Your timely silence can prevent greater harm. In the family, your truthful embrace can initiate reconciliation. Your decision not to repeat old patterns can break cycles that have spanned generations. Your constant, uncompromising presence can heal memories that recur like open wounds. Among friends, your non-judgmental listening can make possible what seemed lost. Your serene honesty can name what no one had courage to say. Your silent example can show a different way of living. The sharing I ask of you doesn't need a stage. It demands intention. Often, it will happen in messages sent at the right time, in walks that welcome you without rushing, in coffees that restore your breath, in prayers said alongside rather than above. The world measures strength by volume. I measure fruit by permanence. What is born with peace endures. What is born of anxiety requires maintenance that exhausts you. Therefore, walk at my pace. It preserves your heart while reaching out to others. Prepare yourself to sow in difficult terrain. There will be times when you will be misunderstood, when your kindness will be read as weakness, when your intentions will be questioned. Keep your heart pure. Do not return injury for injury. Respond truthfully and with restraint, and then surrender to me. Remember that I am the one who sees what is hidden, that I work where your eyes cannot reach, that I know ways to touch where your words cannot reach. Your trust in me frees you from the burden of proving your worth and the burden of guaranteeing results. Avoid the prison of comparisons while you serve. Do not impose on others the time I spent with you. You were led with patience, with corrections that preserved your dignity, with discreet signs that appeared at the right time. You will do the same. When it is time to take a step, do so with courage. When it is time to stay, stay with peace. When it is time to close, close with respect. In each season, I will teach you to recognize the balance between commitment and preservation. I also want you to see the effect of sharing on you. By caring, your soul is protected from selfishness and your hope becomes practical. By sharing, you learn that generosity is not a loss of self, but an investment in what matters. By accompanying, you discover that true results arise from processes, not episodes. As you participate in someone's healing, I care for areas of yourself that you wouldn't reach alone. As you bring peace, I expand your ability to see clearly. As you support a weary hand, I strengthen your knees so you can carry on with steady lightness. After this gesture, return to me. Review with gratitude what happened, learn from what can be improved, and surrender what still weighs on you. This return closes the cycle of sharing and prepares you for the next sending. I will give you new opportunities, and when it is not time to act, I will keep you in silent intercession. Do not despise the prayer that no one sees. It measures the invisible and prepares the surface for the future encounter. Between one step and the next, I sustain what has been planted, protect what has germinated, and strengthen what is growing. If at any point you feel discouraged, return to your own memory. Read what I've already done for you. Remember the confirmations that reached you. Rediscover the peace that gave you breath when the day was narrow. The same hands that lifted you will send you forward again. The care that formed you within will make you walk outwardly with purpose and serenity. The testimony that arises within you will be nourishment for others, and the nourishment that reaches others will be a testimony returned to your heart, telling you that it is worth insisting on good. I send you forth light, attentive, and whole. Carry with you seeds of peace, truth, and purpose. Sow them with intention and respect. Some will germinate quickly, others will take time, others will fall on ground that will only be ready later. Do not give up because of the different times. I treasure every gesture, honor every obedience, collect every tear, walk in my rhythm. Where there is noise, whisper clearly. Where there is fear, arrive with certainty. Where there is confusion, present a simple step. Where there is weariness, offer rest. And when the fruit appears, celebrate with me with simplicity, for every good work is born of my grace and matures in my care. I go before you to prepare conversations and meetings. I remain by your side to sustain your gentle courage, and I stand behind you to protect what has been planted. If you need to adjust, I will let you know. If you need to wait, I will give you peace. If you need closure, I will give you dignity. At all times, my voice will be your criterion, my peace your compass, my love your strength. Follow. What you have received today is enough to illuminate the other's path, and what you share today will make room for what I will do tomorrow, in you and through you. If this word found a name in your heart, share it now with that person, and sow peace wherever I send you. Keep your heart vigilant before me. To be vigilant is not to live tense, but to live awake. I teach you to be attentive without anxiety, lucid without harshness, sensitive without losing yourself. The vigilance I place within you is light, to identify what robs you of peace and love, to preserve what keeps you going. Where haste tries to take control, return to the center and grant my peace. It is your criterion. If peace withdraws, ask me for clarity. If peace grows, pursue it with courage. Guard your boundaries like someone guarding a precious garden. You are responsible for the doors you open and the time you give. Select what enters your eyes and ears. Shut out conversations that inflame without enlightening. Respond to comparison with gratitude, excess with moderation, and provocation with firm gentleness. A healthy boundary isn't coldness, it's care. It keeps your love sustainable, your generosity rooted, and your purpose clear. Recognize old patterns when they try to return in disguise. The temptation to overcompensate, the desire to prove worth at every turn, the impulse to respond in the heat of emotion. Your vigilance notices these movements before they become actions. I grant you a sacred pause between impulse and choice. Use this interval to breathe, pray, and ask what is essential now. In the gentle response, you will find the path to peace. Transform restlessness into prayer. Tell me what weighs you down without embellishment. In prayer, I exchange the burden that bends you for the direction that lifts you up. Where there is confusion, I return simplicity. Where there is fear, I return memories of preservation. Where there is guilt, I return repentance that heals without humiliation. Prayer is not an escape, it is alignment. In it, your mind rediscovers what sustains the rest, and your heart regains its rhythm. Conduct honest reviews throughout the day. Soberly review progress and adjustments. Learn without guilt from what was missed, and truly thank what flourished. Ending a cycle with gratitude and learning closes gaps that fatigue often leaves. When something requires correction, correct it gently. When something has served its purpose, close with dignity. Mature vigilance knows how to begin again without drama and end without harshness. Keep your identity alive in me. I named you before pain tried to rename you. When the night of discouragement approaches, speak to your heart from what I say about you. Your identity does not negotiate a price. It endures in the silent days and in the days of harvest. From this place arises your sobriety to say yes to what edifies and no to what disperses you. From this place arises the pure courage that decides for good, even when it trembles. Take care of the body that carries you. Prolonged fatigue distorts perception and weakens alertness. Honor rest as part of the method. Nourish yourself soberly and move with intention. With proper rest, your hearing becomes sharp again and your peace becomes palpable. I will show you the line between dedication and self-demand. The vigilance I give you does not exhaust you, it structures you. It teaches you to endure in what is right without losing tenderness. Learn to read the discreet confirmations of my care. A conversation that arrives at just the right time. A simple idea that resolves a complex issue, a relief that precedes a decision. These signs are my signature on your path. They tell you to continue, adjust, wait, and end. Vigilance perceives these signs without demanding a spectacle. It trusts that what is born in peace sustains itself when the noise subsides. Now he prepares the transition to the next section with serenity. Gather what you have learned, keep what edifies, and surrender what weighs beyond what is necessary. Carry with you the ruler of peace, the path of truth, and the strength of love. The moment the cycle meets its beginning again, I will call you again with the same voice that brought you here. You will be ready, because vigilance will have kept your heart awake and your hope burning. I remain before you, beside you, and behind you. I guard your inner self while I align your path. Continue in gentle vigil, eyes open, heart at peace, steps firm in the purpose I have entrusted to you. I breathe peace upon your path and remind you that the journey continues day by day. What I have planted in you does not end here. It matures with each sober choice, with each possible step, with each pause that protects the heart. Receive this breath as confirmation that I am before you, beside you, and behind you, sustaining your steps with care and purpose. Remain attentive to the essential, for in it your life becomes firm and fruitful. Maintain the rhythm I've given you to navigate this season with clarity. Listen to align, act to move forward, review to learn, rest to renew. This is the simple path that preserves you when your schedule is tight and lifts you up when your spirits waver. Gentle constancy is your ally because it transforms intention into a path and hope into habit. I invite you to end the day with gratitude and begin the next with presence. Be thankful for what has blossomed, learn from what was lacking, and surrender what weighs more than necessary. The next morning, find me first. Position your heart and decide what is essential before noise tries to occupy your interior. When peace guides, move forward. When it retreats, wait with me and adjust your pace. Peace is your ruler, your compass, your sure sign. Take care of the focus I've entrusted to you. Filter what enters through your eyes and ears. Limit the excess that drains, and set aside short breaks to gather your attention. I will give you the sobriety to say no without guilt and yes without euphoria, and the courage to close what has already served its purpose. This way, your time will work for you again, and your mind will find space for creativity that resolves the complex with simplicity. I will also give you discreet confirmations along the way. A conversation that arrives at the right time, an idea that organizes what seemed scattered, a relief that precedes the right decision. Learn to recognize these signs as my signature on your day. They will tell you to continue, review, wait, conclude. The favor that remains operates quietly, but with precision. If the unexpected visits you, don't compromise your essence. Return to your center, breathe, ask what is essential now. I will answer you with direction and measure. What is yours will sustain itself, what is excess will dissolve, what seems like a shortcut will prove too expensive. Walking with me is carrying less weight and more purpose, less urgency and more meaning. I don't ask for perfection, I ask for faithful presence. When you stumble, start over with serenity. When you succeed, repeat with humility. Faithfulness in small things opens legitimate doors and matures your interior to sustain what I prepare on the outside. Your work will have the solidity of your peace and the reach of your constancy. Before we move on, receive once again the breath that calms your shoulders and straightens your paths. I fill you with courage for what needs to begin, patience for what needs to continue, and clarity for what needs to be concluded. The path remains open before you. I am your companion in every step, your guard in the pause, and your strength in your purpose. Keep alive the memory of what I told you. What began as words will become practice. What became practice will become a mark. What became a mark will become a testimony. And when others seek your guidance, you will serve from a place of peace, without losing your temper, without violating your limits, without giving in to the spectacle. I will honor your sobriety with lasting fruits. If this direction seals your peace, like and subscribe to follow me daily. Now prepare your heart to return to the beginning of the cycle, for my voice remains the same, clear and present. Focus your attention and listen deeply to the call you recognize, and let the same peace that has kept you safe thus far open the next door of the day. I call you now, I call you now to transform direction into concrete decisions in the next 24 hours. Choose a specific, small, and measurable step, something that fits into your day without breaking you down. The right decision arises from the essential and produces a verifiable result. It has a defined beginning, middle, and end. Ask me sincerely what action unlocks the rest, and I will show you the first movement. Today, I don't ask you for speed, I ask you for precision. Precision protects your focus and strengthens your peace. Write down your decision clearly. Write down what you'll do, when you'll start, how long you'll dedicate, and what the completion signal will be. Writing it down will save you energy when noise tries to distract you. If it's a necessary conversation, define the opening sentence and time. If it's a practical organization, determine the space you'll tidy up and for how long. If it's a financial adjustment, separate the amount and schedule the adjustment. Outward order will serve your inner attention and make the environment an ally of purpose. Use peace as a terrelation, ruler as you move. Peace authenticates direction and organizes responsibility. If the decision increases your peace, move forward with gentle courage. If peace persistently recedes, revise the scope, reduce the step size, change the sequence. Adjusting isn't giving up, it's maturity in action. I will give you the sensitivity to recognize the moment to execute, the moment to pause, and the moment to close. Protect your decision from predictable excess. Plan margins, limit distractions, and gently let people know you'll be focused for a period. Keep only what's necessary for execution nearby. When your willpower fluctuates, remember that consistency is a repeated decision, not a sustained euphoria. A small deed accomplished faithfully is worth more than a big promise without delivery. I will be with you during the agreed-upon break, strengthening your attention and lightening what seemed heavy in advance. If you encounter obstacles, adapt without abandoning your purpose. Divide the step into 2 stages, simplify execution, and change the order of tasks. Responsible flexibility preserves progress. Whatever doesn't fit today, land carefully. Record where you left off, what the next step is, and when you'll resume. This way, your mind rests without fear of losing its way. While you obey in the small, I align externally, the circumstances that your eyes don't yet see. My signature will come in discrete confirmations, an understanding that clarifies, a conversation that opens, a relief that precedes the choice. When you're finished, close the cycle soberly. Acknowledge the progress, be grateful for the strength, and learn from what you've learned. Repeat what worked tomorrow, adjust what stalled with humility. Closing is as sacred as beginning because it restores the right weight to your hands and safeguards your peace for the next stage. I train you in this rhythm that endures, deciding with precision, executing with focus, reviewing with truth, resting with purpose. Remember that this decision speaks to your history and points to your purpose. The fruit you seek does not depend on a grand gesture, but on the sum of honest steps. As you practice what is within your reach, I will broaden your horizons legitimately. Where you once saw only a confusing block, you will begin to notice possible sequences. Where there was a lack of breath, measurement will arise. Where there was comparison, gratitude will blossom. This is how I guide you. Less urgency and more meaning, less weight and more purpose. Now make your commitment. Name what you will do in the next 24 hours and reserve the space where it will happen. I will support you in your choice and meet you in the process. The decision written today will be your anchor when the day tries to push you off track. Stay with me in the step, the pause, and the purpose. I will give you grace to begin, constancy to continue, and clarity to conclude. Write in the comments what concrete decision you will fulfill in the next 24 hours and commit your heart to this step. I gather with you everything you have experienced in this cycle and put it in order within your heart. Receive my pieces, a seal of what has been learned and as a key to what is to come. What we build now does not end. It becomes the foundation for the next step. Keep what builds, let go of what weighs beyond what is necessary, and keep alive the certainty that I remain with you in the step, in the pause, and in the purpose. When your mind asks you if you are ready to start over, I will tell you that starting over is just continuing with more clarity. Look soberly at what has been revealed. You have learned to distinguish the essential from the urgent, to reduce the excess that drained you, to use pieces, a ruler to decide with certainty. You realize that gentle constancy carries further than brief euphoria, and that proper rest is not a reward, it is a method. Honor these discoveries. What is born of true breathe, without fanfare, and sustain without noise. This is how I form you on the inside, while I align your path on the outside. Now reposition your attention to the center, where my presence gets organized. Take a deep breath. Name in your mind what you carry with you. Guarded focus, lively gratitude, clear courage, gentle discipline. Everything I've given you fits together like parts of the same body. You already know the path that sustains your spirit. Listen, act, review, rest. It will fit again in the coming hours, with the flexibility of one who learns and the firmness of one who endures. Where you see repetition, you will also see deepening. Where you see silence, you will notice maturation. Prepare the discrete crossing between the end and the start. The transition is simple. End with gratitude. Begin with presence. Be grateful for the confirmations that came from your step, for the ideas that simplified the complex, for the conversations that put everything back in its place. Then, return to essential with sobriety. The essential thing is my voice guiding your attention to the next possible gesture. Don't look for grandiose signs. Seek the care that repeats itself. It is the path that leads you safely. Protect the ruler I gave you. If the peace increase by imagining the next step, follow through. If she retreats, adjust without guilt and ask again. The humility to revise keeps you teachable, and a teachable heart remains fertile. Avoid the trap of wanting to compensate for yesterday with excess today. Prioritize measure that sustains many days, not the exaggeration that vanishes at the first wind. I will give you the discretion to listen before responding, observe before concluding, and close when the time is right. Be aware that your identity follows your agenda. You are not what you deliver who you are in me. From this root springs the attitude that preserves you from haste and brings you closer to fruition. If comparison extends its hand, you respond with gratitude. If provocation arises, it responds with firm meekness. If weariness knocks at the door, it responds with obedient rest. In each response, you make room for my direction lead you without violence. Now turn your face to what lies before you. Soon, the same call that brought you here will invite you to take the first step of the next cycle. You don't need another voice. You need the same tone you recognized. Simple, clear, present. What I tell you doesn't wear out, it deepens. What I ask of you doesn't break you, it structures you. What I open doesn't exhaust you, it expands in measure right. Remain vigilant, with your eyes alert and your heart in peace. Paying close attention will get you on the right track at the right time. If any question stirs within you, give it to me in the form of a short prayer. I return it as direction practice. If any weight tries to stay, lay it at my feet. I exchange it for presence that reorganizes. If some noise tries to occupy what we've cleared, return to the anchor of what you already know, a possible step, an honest choice, a protected rest. Thus, your path remains firm while your soul remains light. We have reached the meeting point between what you have finished and what you will begin. Here, I remind you who calls you, why I call you, and how I guide you. Keep your breathing calm, align your attention, keep the ruler of peace and the trail of true. When you feel the familiar softness rest on your shoulders, you will know it is time to cross over. The cycle returns to its start without rupture, just as continuity of care. Position your heart and incline your ear. Allow my voice to fill your innermost being with the same clarity as before. The time has come for a new beginning that is continuity, for a beginning that is maturity, for the first step that is, in fact, one more. Silence the other calls. Turn to me and receive once again the call that you know. I call you now.